Welcome to the Divi feature update live. Today I'm excited because we have a brand new feature. Now this feature right here is my favorite feature. Now before we begin, please let me know if you can hear me loud and clear in the comments box below, because I want to make sure you don't miss anything. Okay, so let me know in the comments below if you can hear me loud and clear. And also, please let us know where you're tuning in from. Okay, so I can see some feedback here. Okay, looks like everything is working fine. Fantastic. So today I'm really excited to talk about the brand new Divi feature. It's called Divi presets. Now this feature replaces the global presets that we had before. Now remember that little global item on your settings? That's gone now. We have a brand new feature. It's called Divi presets. Now this is a brand new Divi design system, and I'm excited to talk about this morning. All right, so let me take a look here. We have a lot of people tuning in from different parts of the world. We have Amira from Toronto. We have Jonathan from the UK. Good to see you all. We also have Rohan from India. Let me see. We have Clifford from Oxford, UK. Wow, it looks like we have quite a few people here from the UK today. We also have Joe D. Boy from England, Nafis from Indonesia. We also have Mohammed from Egypt, Stephen from South Korea. Fantastic. Let's see. Andreas from the UK. Awesome. We also have, let me see if I can pronounce this. Abdesalam from Morocco. Good to see you too. I think this is the first time we had someone from Morocco. Divi Web Design SEO from Lincoln, UK. Good to see you all. Right, so I haven't come across anyone from the States. What's going on today? Are we not live streaming in the States? Interesting. Anyways, right. Let me just make sure I have everything all set here. Is anyone from the from the United States? I can only see. Oh, there we go. Manuel from Miami. So Florida. We also have James from the States, Victor from Portugal. Okay, so now we can start. Okay, so the feature that we're going to be talking about today is going to change the way you're going to be designing your websites with Divi. It is amazing. And by the way, before I begin, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. This is fantastic. I'm really excited to get started here. So I'm going to switch over here now to my main computer here, so you can see what I'm working on. So what I've done here is I've just gone in and I've added a few modules. Now these are just basic modules. This is a blurb, as you can see. So it's pretty much standard as it comes out of the Divi builder. All I've added here is the icon. Okay, so what's really the big deal here? So the first thing we need to do is to first identify where the presets are. But before we do that, I also like to remind you that in order for you to get this feature, it's out there, you have to update to the latest Divi install. Okay, so make sure you go to your website and update to the latest Divi. It's out there and it's fully working. Okay, so here we have a blurb. So what we're going to do here is to identify where this feature is. So if I go here into module settings, you're going to notice here on the top, way up here on the top, it says preset default. Okay. So if I click on this little drop down, we see two options. One of them is to create a preset from current styles. So if this was styled and it had some sort of design to it, you can actually create a preset. Now, where would we use this? Well, we have Divi pre-made layouts, right? So if you were to go into a pre-made layout and you really like the way a certain design is done, you can create a preset based on that. So you don't have to create all your presets from scratch, and I'll be showing you how to do that. Now over here, we also have this new add new preset. So this is the feature now that you can activate in order for you to customize your design. So let's go ahead and create a brand new one. So if I click here on add new preset, we can give this a name. So let's call this blurb design. Okay. I'm just giving it any name. Now, here's the thing. Over here, it says assign preset to default. If we design this and assign this to default, across your whole website, this design is going to change every time. I mean, everywhere where we have a blurb. So we're not going to do that yet because I want to show you how this works. So I'm just going to say yes to my preset name here. Okay, great. Now we see this gray box here. So this just shows you that now you are in your Divi presets, and this is where you do all your customizations. So let's go ahead and start customizing this. So first, I'm going to come over here to my design. Let's work on our icon here. Okay, so we're going to come over here and give this icon a color. So, okay, there we go. So we've given our icon a color, and we might as well go in and work on the text as well. So let's say over here on the text, we change this to, let's go with Poppins. You know, that's my favorite font. So let's make it bold. Okay. And we may also give this a color. Yes, we're going to give it a slight color there. And then over here, we're also going to change our paragraph text. So we're going to come over here, change that, increase the size a little bit. And let's increase the line height as well. And what we're also going to do here is to give this a border. So we're going to come all the way down here. Let's go to border, and let's give this 1 pixel and see how that looks. No, let's make it 2. So I know at the moment it sounds like, oh, this is, I mean, I'm just taking too long. I'm designing. It's taking too much time. But trust me, once I show you how these presets work, you're going to be amazed. Okay, so let's give this a border, right? So let's say that's our border, and let's give this some rounded corners as well. So let's just go with 6. Finally, we need to give this text here some breathing space. So we're going to come over here to spacing, and we're going to add some padding all around. Okay, so that's going to be 20 all around like that. Okay, so let's say this is my design. I'm happy with this. Save changes. Then I'm just going to say yes to that. Okay, so now everything is done. That's my first blurb. Okay, so let's say I need to apply this design that I've just done here, because remember, if you wanted to come over here and give this the same sort of style, you would need to go through all the steps that I've just gone through in order for you to achieve this design. But here's the thing. If I come over here now, click on this blurb, right? And then I come over here to the top on the presets, I can now choose this blurb design. And notice what happens when I choose that. Bang. Okay, just like that, I can go through my whole website and just update where I have all my blurbs. And let me do it one more time in case you didn't see that. If I come over here to my settings, click on the drop down, boom. That's it. You see? So it has taken over all the styles that we have. And this is a preset that now lives on our website. So every time you want to add a blurb, you can just go in and choose that preset. And by the way, you can also have different types of presets. You don't even have to have one style. So let's say you want to have a blurb which looks great on a dark background. You can just design another one based on this preset. Now, before I do that, I would like to hear some feedback. If you're really loving this feature, please give me a 1 in the comments box below. Just give me a 1. If you don't like this feature so far, just give me a 2. No problem. I can take it. Okay. So if you like this feature, give me a 1. Give me a 1. Oh, wow. We have Augustine. This is amazing. Same name as me. Okay. Right. So far, I'm seeing a lot of 1s. This is amazing. Okay. No 2 so far. Come on, guys. I need to see more 1s if you love this feature. Okay. So far, it looks like all 1s. This is amazing. Okay. Fantastic. Right. I saw a comment here. And I think it says, I just have to look for it. Okay, Manuel says, like class. Yes, this is working like CSS classes. So that's the best way I can describe this. And for those of you that were thinking of perhaps maybe learning CSS to do all these things on your website, no need to worry about CSS. And I know CSS is good, but I don't really like CSS. You know, it's too much coding for me. So this feature right here has just, you know, it's mind blowing. Anyways, Right. Anyway, I see a lot of ones. I don't see any twos so far. So it looks like, everyone is excited about this. Okay. Let me show you more features now. Now, let's say I want to create, make another one of these blurbs. All I have to do is to come over here to this gear icon, click on this drop down. Right. Now, do you see this option here which says create new preset from current styles? I can now come over here and say blurb doc. Okay. So notice I don't have to go in and start designing this blurb all from scratch anymore. I'm just using the current one and just customize it a bit more to create my next global. Okay, so I'm going to come over here now and let's stylize this. So let's give this a background. Okay, so we're going to come over here to background and let's give this a dark background. Okay, this is not like a design class or so. I just want to show you how different this would look. So I'm just making these sort of like radical changes so you can see where I'm applying all the changes. Okay, so this is our really dark background. So over here, I want to remove the border. So I'm going to come over here and let's just remove the border completely. All right. And the text here, as you can see, it's difficult to read on the dark background. So let's go ahead and work on this text and just make it easier to read. Now we're going to go to our paragraph text and change that too. That's a bit too much. So let's go in and add some transparency to that. Okay, there we go. So that looks much better now. The icon looks fine, to be honest. So let's say that's what we want here. So let's go to our spacing and let's just do a few more changes here. Okay, let's go with 32. Okay, there we go. In fact, let's go with 30 all around. So let's say 30 here and 30 here. Okay, so this is our second design. All I have to do now is to save everything, and pretty much I am good. So you may be thinking, okay, so what happens if I delete this? Well, if I delete that, okay, it's gone. But if I come over here and add a blurb, where is it? There we go. Right. So you can see here it's a default style. I can then come over here to my presets. Remember, we have the dark one and the normal one. So I can choose my dark one and boom, right? Just like that. I've got my preset all set. And then all I have to do now is to change the icon, which I can do by coming over here, activating my icon, and let's go with this one here. And it also takes up the color. So this is amazing. This is going to save you a lot of time. So while we're here with these two presets, right, you may be thinking, why do we have a dark one? Why do we have a light one? So let's say you're designing your website and you have a new section. Let me just add a brand new section here. So regular, and this new section here is, let's say it's going to have a dark background. Okay. So we're going to come over here, give this a background, and we're really going to make this dark. Okay. So there we go. That's our dark background. So I'm going to save that. So as I'm designing, of course, you want to have different colors for different sections. So you decide, you know what? I need to add a blurb, right? So you can come over here, but obviously you can't use the dark version because that's going to, cause a problem with on the dark background. So this is where you would come over here to your presets and go with this one here, because this is the one that really stands out. And by the way, I didn't change my colors here. So that's something that I would need to do anyways. But anyway, this is the lighter version. And over here, you can just choose the dark version. But of course, as I mentioned, this one doesn't work here. It just blends into the background. So this applies also to buttons. So let's say you create a button. So there are cases where your button is going to be on a dark background. You want to have a different style for that. So you can say button dark and button light. So you can have your buttons pretty much on different backgrounds. Okay. I hope that is clear. Let's see. Right. Andreas says, hey, Mac, love the feature, but what is the advantage of this over saving to the library? First of all, it's time saving. If you save it to the library and you want to make changes to it, you would have to go to, to the library and find those elements to make changes to. So now with this, you are going to your presets. And these presets, by the way, I forgot to mention this. These presets can be found pretty much across all modules, sections, and rows. For example, let's say I need to have a padding here of, say, 100 pixels, right? Because maybe the spacing here is not good. So you can come over here, section settings, default preset, and then I can say, okay, I want to create a new preset here. And then I'm just going to call this top and bottom padding, right? So I can say, okay, fine, I've saved that. I can come over here to design, spacing, and I can add my padding here, and it's going to be 100 pixels, both to the top and the bottom. Okay, save that, then proceed, and then that's saved. So the reason why this is much better than using your library, I mean, of course you can save it to the library if you want and just have a single page with all these settings to the library, and then you can go in there, make changes to that page across your whole website. But I wouldn't really do it that way, because everywhere you go on your website, the presets are there anyways. And I'm going to show you one feature here that is really, really good. So just bear with me. So now that I have my padding here on my sections, notice that instead of me going to each and every section and applying that padding over here with the presets, so I would come over here to the presets and say top and bottom padding. Now, I don't want to do that. So to apply this style, this preset across the whole website, all you have to do is to come over here, go to your top and bottom preset, right? And then hover over here and click on this star. Okay. So once you click on this star, it assigns this as a default. So next time I'm going to create a new section, it's going to have my 100 pixels to the top and 100 pixels to the bottom. So let's see if that's working now. So first of all, it's been applied here. So let me add a new section. So I'm going to click here on this plus button, regular. And let's give this a background color so that we see. So let's add a single column. Okay. So now, in fact, I don't even need to add a background color. When I hover over here, you can see it has 100 pixels added to it. Now, if you were designing your website and you wanted to add your padding to all your sections, you would have to do this every single time you create your sections. And even more annoying, let's say your website has 100 pages. You would have to go in and find those sections and make those manual changes. But of course, with the global settings, you could do that. But with the global settings that we had before, the problem was if the website was already created, if the pages were already created, sometimes the global presets would not go and override that. So you would have to go in and do it manually. But with this is amazing. This can just pretty much go across the whole website and override it, which is fantastic. Right. Let me have a look here. It looks like we have questions. And by the way, if you have any questions, just add them in the comments box below. Okay. I wondered how it would interact with global default settings. Thank you for clarifying it. That it disappears. This preset system is really neat. Yes, it's fantastic. I'm just going to scroll through here and see if there's many more questions. Yes, it's available on the Divi Builder. Yes, it's available on the Divi Builder. Let's see. Any questions so far? Any questions before I proceed? Because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Okay, if there's no questions, I will proceed. But I'd just like to Remind those of you that are just joining us, if you're just joining us, this is the Divi Feature Update Live, a show that we talk about the latest Divi features. We go into depth, discuss them, and test them out and see if they're really working okay. So today we're talking about the Divi presets. This is a brand new feature. It's a new design system for Divi. In fact, with this feature right here, you're going to pretty much increase your workflow. You're going to be able to work faster, and your websites are going to look way more consistent moving forward. Okay, so looks like we don't have any features here, so I'm going to continue. Okay, so over here, I've just added an image. So let's say I want my images to have rounded corners, so I can just come over here and say, right, presets, add new preset, and I'm going to say rounded corners. Rounded course. Really? You know what happens on live streams? Sometimes it's crazy. If I was doing my normal videos, I would be editing this out. But anyways, right, I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to go into my my Divi presets, click on design, and then I'm just going to come over here to my border and add my rounded corners. So let's go with 10 because we can really see this. Okay. So now I am going to save this, save one more time, and save. Right. So I need to clarify this because when I was playing around with this feature, I was a bit confused. Notice what happens. I've just created a preset here, right? But does that mean that if I add a new image, it is going to take on that preset? The answer is no, and I'll show you how. Okay, so there's my image module, and let me choose my image. So I'm going to go with, okay, let's go with this one here. Do you notice that it doesn't have the rounded corners? That is because I need to go in and specify that preset. Now, this is also really good because it may be that there are certain images that you need to add rounded corners to, and this is why Elegant Themes has added this feature this way. So if I wanted to have rounded corners on this one, then I can come over here and say, okay, rounded corners, boom. And now I have my rounded corners. But every single time you add a new image, it won't have the rounded corners. You have to go and manually do it. Now, if you want to apply the rounded corners across your whole website, all you have to do is to come over here, click on this drop down, go to the actual preset. You can click here on this pencil icon. Oops, sorry. I meant to come over here and click here on this star. Okay, so this star assigns this as a default. Okay, now let me show you something that is really amazing, right? Something that's really amazing. And that is, I am going to open a brand new page. Okay. So I'm going to come over here. Let me save this first. I'm going to save this, exit the Visual Builder, and create a brand new page based on a Divi. What's it called again? Pre-made layout. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. Let's go and create a brand new page from a pre-made layout. So I'm going to come over here to Pages and then click on Add New. Okay, so let's call this pre-made. Okay, so use Divi Builder and let's choose just a basic pre-made layout. Okay, so I am going to choose one from here, and I'm going to go with any preset here. It doesn't really matter which one it is. So I'm just going to choose a random one. So let's go with this one here. Use this layout. And by the way, this is live. Okay, I haven't plan this, I mean, what I'm going to do right now. Okay, this is taking a bit of time, but in a moment we're going to have preset. Now, while this is going on, any questions so far? In fact, I have here, if I apply a preset on a module and add some custom settings only to this module, when I update the preset, does it override these custom settings? Yes, and I will do a quick demo and show you how that works too. Okay, so it looks like our pre-made layout has been loaded. That's looking good. So I want you to notice what's happening here. Remember, over here, we have, where's that image? There we go. We have this image here with the rounded corners, and I made it global. Let's see what happens now. So I'm going to come all the way down here. Look at that. Now all my images on this pre-made layout are now rounded because I made it global. So whatever presets that you make will be truly global across pre-made layouts. Now let me just say that one more time. If you create your presets, right, they will be applied across even your Divi pre-made layouts. Now, come on, guys, this is amazing. Okay, this is fantastic. So in case you may have missed that, let's go back over here and let's remove this preset, this rounded corners preset. Okay, so you can see. So back over here, I'm just going to go and look for, let's look for our image. There we go. So I'm going to come over here. This is where I made it global. So I'm just going to come over here and go to my rounded corners. You can see here it's global. I'm just going to delete that. Say yes. Save it. Okay. So now we don't have any rounded corners anymore. I'm going to save the page. Okay. Fingers crossed. Now I'm going to come over here to my pre-made layout that I just added onto the site. I'm going to refresh this and see what happens. In fact, let's publish the page. Doesn't matter. Okay, now let's refresh the page. Exit the Visual Builder. Okay, now let's look for images and boom. See? No rounded corners. Okay, now that wasn't really smooth. Let's do something different here. So let's say you're building your website. You want to have your paragraph text to be consistent across your whole website. So I had created this Poppins. You know I love Poppins. That's my favorite font, yeah? And this global preset here has been updated on here as well. So you can see here we have Poppins. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this font again. So I'm going to come over here, go to my default and my paragraph preset here. I'm just going to delete that. Okay, we're going to get rid of that. Okay, now it's gone. So now we have the default Divi text. So now if I come over here and refresh, take a look at that. There we go. So you can see Poppins is now gone across the whole page, across the whole website. Okay, now let's do it one more time because this is huge. This needs a round of applause. Seriously, this is amazing. So over here, let's say I want to make sure that all my paragraph text is a specific font. Come over here, you add a text module. In fact, let me do it from scratch. So let's add a text module. I'm going to search for it, select it, and I'm going to come over here now to my presets, new presets. Let's call this paragraph text. Okay. And then I can just say assign preset to default. Boom. Save that. Say yes. And now it's time to design it. So I can come over here to design, go to my text over here, set this to Poppins. You know, I love Poppins. And let's increase the size a little bit. Okay, let's go with 17. Let's give this a bit of a line height. There we go. Save this. Save it one more time. Okay, now let's head over here to our page and notice what happens. You can see here, this is the font that we have right now. But now, if I refresh, Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And this applies to all your modules, all your sections. Once you make it global, it just takes over the whole website. So you can use this in conjunction with the Divi builder, the Divi theme builder. So the theme builder and this global presets. Wow, this is amazing. So if you have websites right now that have inconsistent font sizes and all of that, this is the time to go ahead and clean up your website. Now, this is amazing. Any questions so far? Looks like, okay, hang on. We have some questions here. Do the presets have role access management so that all roles can use this feature? Yes, I mean, it's up to you who you want to assign the roles to. So in fact, let's take a look at that. It's a very good question. So I'm going to leave this page now. In fact, why don't we use a new one? Let's go to our dashboard here in a new tab. To be honest, I hadn't checked that. So let's see. Role editor. Right, so presets. I think it's down here. Right. Let's see, presets. Okay, I don't see it here, but it looks like edit global items. This is where you'd want to go in and disable in your role editor. So that's all I can see here, but I haven't tried it out, so don't quote me on that one. Okay, right, let's see. Mao says, will this be recorded? Yes, you can watch it after the fact. So you can still watch it. This is going to be on the Elegant Themes Facebook page and also YouTube page. Right. Hey, Mac. Okay, there's a question here about my website. Yes, I will respond to your questions. Sorry about that. So I'll go through all my questions on funnels to income and respond to that question. Okay, sorry about the delay. Let's see, any more questions here? Okay, so looks like we don't have any more questions. Now let's go ahead and let me show you even more features that we can play around with. Okay, so over here now, so we have this this image here. Let's go ahead and give this some styling. So I'm going to come over here and go to my presets. I'm going to add a brand new one. And with this one here, we're going to make it global. So I'm just going to say assign to default. And let's do a few styles to this. So I'm going to come over here to design. Then I'm going to come to, let's add some rounded corners like that. And let's add some shadows. I'm going to come over here to drop shadow. We're just going to add a shadow to this. Okay, let's go with that one. And we're going to change the color. Okay, we just want something so you can see the changes that are happening. All right, so I have that now. And now I am going to save changes. Okay. Now, I don't know if you picked this up, but as I was making changes to this, it was applying the changes to this image as well. So let's say I add a new image. Notice what happens. Because this is global, it is going to take on the styles that are global that I've just created here. So I'm going to come over here and choose my image. So the image I'm going to go with, let's go with that one there. Okay, upload an image. So now we have our image, and then I'm going to save. So let's say down the line, you decide, you know what, that shadow there doesn't look great. I want to get rid of it. So all you have to do is to come over here, go to your presets, and then you want to create new preset from current styles. So you can go into that and apply it as a default when you start designing it. Or what you can do is while you're here, you can go to design. Let's say you want to change the border. You can come over here and change the border. But notice that this change here is only happening to this particular one, because with the styles, it doesn't mean that when you go in, it only, whatever you change is going to change across the whole website. So you have to decide how you're going to do it. So if you want to do it on an individual basis, this is how you would do it. And my way of determining how this, what I'm doing is to take a look here at the top. So if you have this blue item here, it means you're working on a specific item. So you can see here, I can go into a specific item and I can change the shadow. So let's say this one here needs to be that color. And perhaps maybe I want to remove the shadow altogether like that. Okay, so I can save and I'm good. But if you want to go in and make changes that that go across the whole website, you can just come over here and go to that preset that we've just created. So if you go into this, go into design. Now take a look at these two images, the ones on the right. So as I'm starting to make changes here, let's say to the box shadow, we decide to use this one here. The shadow has been applied to those two images because this is now global, okay? So if you look at this gray box at the top here, whatever I'm going to do here is all going to be global now. So look at that. So if I reduce the blur or increase the blur, it is happening on a global, in a global way, okay? But if I need to go in and individually work on one specific image, I can go into this one here, for example, and make changes to this. But notice it's not global because I don't have that gray item there on the top. So I can go in here and say, okay, you know what? I need to come over here to my box shadow and remove the shadow. And it hasn't affected the other one. Okay, hope that's clear. I hope that's clear. Luft Drone says, I just want to ask if you can exclude a module or section if you make a global preset. I think I've just demonstrated this. You can exclude it by not applying the preset to it. So you can have a preset going across the whole website, and then you can just go into that individual one and just exclude or remove the preset from that particular one. Similar to what I've just done here with the images, I've gone in and I've removed or went in and started editing that specific image. So by doing that, it means that it's not affecting the other images. So that's the best way I can sort of explain that. Okay, any more questions? Change music says I can't see clearly. Please refresh your page. That could resolve that. Emil says yes, it's clear. Fantastic. Right, I'm just going to take a look here and see if I have any more questions. Right, we also streaming this on Facebook and also on YouTube. So I just want to make sure that I cover all the questions. April says, so if my husband and I are updating the website at the same time, will he see my change in real time? That's a very good question. I haven't been in that situation where I'll be editing the websites with someone at the same time. So I can't really respond to that because I don't know, because I haven't really been in that situation. But the only closest thing that I can think about is if you're working on a blog post it normally says, normally notifies you that someone is working on that blog post, and then it gives you an option to take over it. So I'm not sure how Divi handles that. So I'll find out, and I may add that in the description in the video comments. Right. Looks like we have a lot of positive feedback today. Chelsea says, "This is awesome. I've never seen you go live before. More of this, please." I have gone live before quite a few times when we have the feature updates, but it's just that lately the feature updates were like way too far apart, so it seems like I haven't been doing a lot of live shows. But my colleagues, they do like BJ does his on a Friday, and we also have Donna that does hers during the week as well, and Jason. So yes, you haven't seen a lot of me because I mainly cover the Divi feature update. Anyway, for those of you that are just joining us, this is the Divi feature update live. Today we're talking about the Divi presets. This is a new design system for Divi which replaces the global presets. So it's amazing. Now I know we're coming to the end of our live stream, so if you're just joining us now, you can always watch the replay and catch up with that, because this feature is the feature that you definitely want to use on your website, because it's going to make your website look very, very consistent, and also make it look professional by applying the styling across your whole website or to specific items. Okay, so I'm just going to take a quick look here one more time and see if we have any more questions. Change Music says, "I want to say something." Go ahead and say what you need to say. But what if I then apply new settings to, let's say, image global presets? Will this not reapply settings? Not sure. Lift drone, I'm not sure I understand your question here. Let me try and read it again. Lift drone says, "But what if I then apply new settings to, let's say, the image global preset? Will it not reapply settings to those excluded?" No, it won't reapply to those excluded. It only goes to the ones that are in the global. So the ones that are excluded will not be affected by that update that you'll have done to the global. Okay. Amira says, "Hi Matt, can we have more live Q&As, please?" Yeah, for sure, definitely. Hopefully, we'll have more Divi feature updates, because this is my segment where I talk about the features. So yeah, hopefully we're gonna have more of these. Right. Nancy says, "Hello, I'm a little late from Delaware. Love your addition to Divi. I can't keep up with all the powerful updates you give us." Awesome. I hope that's a positive thing, that we're giving all these new features to help you design professional looking websites. But we are going to be having a lot of tutorials and yeah, a lot of tutorials, blog posts, videos, just to show you how to use these latest features. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. So keep an eye and make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification, because we are going to be producing a lot of tutorials. Okay. Emil says, "Do you have a glimpse on upcoming feature updates?" No. I'm sorry about that. So I'm in the content team, so they try to keep these features, what can I say? Private, so that when we do see them, it catches us by surprise, and it gives, a lot of excitement and energy. So I don't know of any upcoming features, but if I do find out in my next live stream, I will let you guys know. So I'll try and get some information out. Okay. Nancy says, "Definitely positive." Awesome. Right. I can't pronounce this, the name here, but the question is presets work? Do presets? I think it's trying to say, do presets work with transitions and scroll effects? Absolutely. In fact, you know what? Let's dive in and let me just do a quick example here with the animations. Okay. So I'm just going to save this, and we're going to come over here to this image, and let's create a brand new preset from this current preset. So create new preset from current styles. Okay. Let's call this animated image. Okay, so I'm not going to apply this as a default. I'm just going to do this on this particular one. Save that, and now it's going to take us to our design, our Divi preset. So over here on the design tab, I can come over here to animation, and I can say bounce, right? Just something as basic as that. We're not going to try and make this complicated. Just show you that this works really well. So I'm going to save that, save it one more time. Now, let's say I need to add a new image. Let's get rid of these ones here. We don't really need these anymore, right? Delete that. All right. So let's add a brand new image. So I'm going to search for my image module. I'm going to select it. Right. So you can see here, we have quite a few images, and this is a global, by the way. That's why it's come in this way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply the animated image. Save that. So now if I refresh the page, in fact, let's save this first and refresh it. Okay. You see that? Oh, that was fast. But anyway, let me refresh this one more time. Do you see that bounce? So you can use these global presets with anything, okay? Anything. I mean, literally anything in this builder. So you can apply these global presets to animations, scroll effects. As long as you define what the preset is, it's easier to find, by the way. And also you can apply this to, you can apply animations, you can apply all sorts of things to it. So yeah, you can do pretty much anything you want with this. Okay. Kalpesh says adding animation will delay the site loading time. Yeah. Change Music says hello, Mac. Right. So Change Music. I'm sure I saw your comment earlier on. Are you just joining us? I'm sure I saw it. But anyway, I'm good. How you doing? Any more questions? Right, I'm just going through here to see if we have any more questions. I'll come over here to Facebook. Okay, Michael says, do I have to update Divi to get this feature? Absolutely. So you definitely need to update to the latest feature. So what you want to, to the latest Divi. So what you want to do is to go over here to your dashboard. And if you don't see the update, you want to click here where it says updates. Okay, it's very important you do that because this sort of like refreshes the site and pulls any information that is missing. In this case, it'll be the latest update. So you want to make sure you hit update, and then you're going to see Divi here showing. And once you update it, it will have this latest feature. And to find this latest feature, as I mentioned before, you want to come over here to, in fact, it's on any module, any section, in any row. So if you come over here, it's always going to be at the top here. You can see it says preset default. Okay, so this is where you find the feature. This is where you find the feature. Okay. Right. Let's have a look here. Do we have any more questions? Kali says table of contents feature for Divi. Is that a request or? Emil says yes, you can animate text modules as well. Yes, you can animate anything and pretty much anything. Now, what I'm going to talk about next is very important, and this is how do you apply these presets? So what you want to do is to add a preset for your header text, your heading 2, your paragraph text, your buttons, and pretty much all the default items that you use to create your website. So once you create those templates, those presets, it's going to be easier for you to design your websites going forward. All right, so pretty much I think we've covered everything that we need to cover on this Divi feature update live. If you have any more questions, please leave your questions in the comments box below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell notification. By doing so, you'll be notified when we release new tutorials. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you for now. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll have another Divi feature update coming up soon. This was the Divi presets, the new design system for designing your websites with Divi. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. See you in the next one. Take care.